I've had an option locked in for a while of character design tier list. Because for character designs, we can be relatively objective with it, just straight up. Like, who has the more complex design in the game? And just overall, like, who basically look like is the best made characters. So I think we're going to do that. So we're going to start off with Rover, and it's very, very easy. Male Rover is pretty dog shit. Very, very bland. Female Rover is one of the best, like, main characters, and even one of the best characters to ever have been, like, created design-wise. Amazing, amazing, amazing character design for any game, let alone just gacha games. Going to Chishia, I want to give her C. She's very basic. Like, she gets the point across, but she's not very complicated in what she kind of does. I want to give Yang Yang A. This will set kind of a precedent. Yang Yang's design is pretty damn good, and her hair glows with her forte and everything. Like, they designed her around her own kit very well. Okay, maybe B. Oh, for stipulations here in the future. Baija, I think, can be B tier. I think the character's design is amazing, but she doesn't have a lot going for her other than just looking fucking phenomenal, which might move her up to an A just off of horny, like straight up. I don't want to be biased particularly. We're going to keep this as objective as possible, but I think Baija's probably A tier. I think her design overall is better than Yang Yang's, even though Yang Yang is a very, very solid design. Baija, very, very attractive character. They did her design absolutely amazingly. Sanhua, I want to put into B. I think she's a little higher than Yang Yang. Very attractive character as well. I love how they put her resonant tattoo thing on her eyeball. Like, such a trip, such cool story and lore with that character too. But just not a lot of uniqueness. Very good, but not a lot of uniqueness, and not a lot of, we could say, assets that would put her up to A tier, right? Yanwu, probably D tier. If you lost the fedora, he'd look a lot cooler. Just straight up. The fedora ain't doing him any justice right now. Just even a little alternate skin where he doesn't have it would be awesome, and immediately put him into C tier at least. Taoshi, A tier. Her design is very, very good, especially for like a secretary type character. Her clothes kind of portray that pretty well. Assets, again, we'll say her stylistic choice between like the color palette and her hair and everything works out very, very well. Very cute character, very well designed. Danjin, I think we're going to put into C tier. She's very basic again, same with Chishia. She gets done what needs done. Outside of that, she doesn't have a lot going on. Alto, I think we can go C tier. I would put him in A tier if they kept from the CBT. When he ults, he puts his glasses on, but he also shoots finger guns, because that was in the CBT. If that was still in the game, he'd be an A tier easily, because what a cool idea to just like, oh, I'm going to shoot out of my fingers. That is so sick. Hopefully 5-star Alto will be able to do that, because that would be so awesome. But for right now, his design, unfortunately, is in the C tier. It's just not as good. Mortefi, we're going to put in the B tier. The draconic elements across his body are very cool. One arm is basically dragon claw arm, and then up with scales across his torso. The fact that when he ults and everything, a dragon-esque thing floats behind him, shoots out shots. Very cool character. Very like analytical, smart. He portrays that very well with his clothing. His clothing has dynamics, again, like the open front, the dragon kind of scales, kind of just like skin a little bit growing up across his torso. It would be cool to see in the future a 5-star version of Mortefi also be like almost fully draconic, kind of like how Calcharo goes and looks when he ults. Encore, I'm going to put in C tier. The character's cute and all, but very, very basic design. A lot of this character's design revolves around the ult, which looks cool, but realistically doesn't change what is already set, as she's got a lot less dynamic in her appearance because she's small. The kid characters, unfortunately, can't have as much expression in their appearance because they are small. And there's just not as much space to put cool shit. Like, you can't have dragon scales on Encore. She's too goddamn small. Unless you made her a little tiny dragon thing, right? Farina's going to go in the same boat. She's going to go right there. I would borderline put her in D tier, but her design works, right? D tier is characters whose designs are like actually the most bland things ever. Her design does work with her character and how she kind of plays around. But again, not a lot of stuff going on here. I would put her, however, above Encore. And probably above Danjin and Chishia. Like, this is probably what our C tier is looking like. Ling Yang. I actually like this character's appearance. He's pretty cool. Basic, but there's a lot going on. He's probably one of the more unique characters in the game. Unfortunately, he doesn't play very well at all, but he's pretty nice. I'd say he's probably close to top of B tier, right under Mortefi. Yeah, we're probably looking at that for B tier. Calcharo. There's some bias here. Calcharo looks like Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. And straight up, spoiler alert for recent chapters, Lobotomy Kaisen, right? Very, very similar. Very similar. His kit, when he ults too, he looks pretty cool, which I think is a solid dynamic, but I don't think I can justify putting him into A tier. Because I just think otherwise he's a relatively bland character, so we're going to throw him at the top of B tier. Jianshin, I think, makes it into A tier. Very well-designed character from head to toe. Gets the monk aesthetic all the way through. Very much yin-yang. You can tell, like, just her earrings even and her hair color. Her outfit's very cool. She's got decent assets that you're looking at, right? Overall, a very well-designed character. I don't think she's above Baizhi, but I think she's probably above Taoshi. Jian, I think, is a S tier character. Very well-designed dude. It's hard to, in gacha games, design cool dudes. Kuro Games has shown time and time again that they can do it in Punishing Grey Raven, and that they can do it now in Wuthering Waves. His aesthetic is dope. The way that his resonance mark on his back reacts to different parts of the fight is dope. His hair is dope. Super toned, super fit body. Really showcases it through the very tight form-fitting shirt. His sword basically becoming a spear on ult, and the way he fights with the dragon, very, very cool. Aesthetically, he's probably going to be around the bottom of S tier. Yinlin, S tier. Top of S tier. What a well-designed character. You get the long red hair in a unique, fancy-ass ponytail. A super, super dynamic, really cool outfit that over different iterations through CBTs has evolved into something that is very, very unique. Has a lot of depth, a lot of different parts playing around, a lot of different layers, right? Super cool puppet. Super cool animations. Overall, just an amazing, amazing looking character, right? We can't really argue that one. Jinshi, I think also S tier. However, I will say probably below Rover. This character would have been probably A tier for me until 1.1 story, when she got like the horns, and playing her, she gets the horns and fights with the dragon. Very cool. Aesthetically, it is very cool and very cute when she gets like the horns and everything like that, which I think adds a dynamic to her that not a lot of other characters have, like Encore has. But it's based on her ult, and also not as dynamic as it is with Jinshi, with the dragon, and just overall the story and the dynamic and her own appearance. I only am putting her above Jian because Jian does the exact same shit, but just to a lesser extent, really. I mean, he fights with the dragon in his ult. Jinshi fights with the dragon across multiple parts of her kit, right? Aesthetically, her plus Jue the dragon, very, very cool character. Changli, do I put my biases aside or do I vote with actual integrity? Voting with integrity, she's probably the top of S tier. She's probably the best looking character in the game. Just straight up, this character's design, she's probably going to be the highest selling banner Wuthering Waves has had so far, just off of her design alone. Amazing looking character. She's basically Taoshi like 4.0. The way she attacks, the flow of her kit, the way her sword has after images, all of it. She's basically Rengoku from Demon Slayer. She's a fire chicken, right? She does so much cool shit, so many cool animations. Her entire kit is based around the flourishing of her sword, basically. Amazing, amazing designed character. Amazingly designed character. Such a dynamically designed character. Her clothes literally burn, like some of the clothing that she has burns up and burns away throughout her kits, getting more in stacks. Amazing, amazing character. Jeji, from what I've seen, I can put her safely probably at the top of A tier. Very cute, very bouncy character. She so far has solid physics. Just like bouncing around. Very, again, very cute. Not a lot going on, but what is going on is very dynamic, very unique, right? She looks like she's in formal regal pajamas a little bit with like the flowy robe gown thing, which is a little different. It's not quite as tight and as strict as a lot of these characters. Is basically battle attire. A lot of these characters have very same color schemes as well. Jeji breaks that mold drastically. So I think that this character deserves probably the top of A tier. However, she does not seem nearly as unique and as attractive as the S tier characters. Shang Liao is lucky to not be in D tier. He'll be in C tier. He's very, very basic looking. Like, the gauntlet being able to shoot and all is cool, but holy fucking bland. He's barely better than male Rover, who looks bland as shit. Who, for the record, Yonu is better than. I should just, like, throw that out there. But there's not much else to talk about for Zhang Liao. Like, his kit is dope, but his fit is not. You were exactly right. Camellia, S tier so far, probably under Jian. We don't know a lot about Camellia. Overall, she seems a very cool character, very cute, but we know practically nothing else other than initial looks. We don't really know what her plants are going to look like around her or anything like that. So, initial impression, she's going to be under Jian just because Jian and his kit and the way everything melds together works so goddamn well. But this is probably going to raise up in the future when she releases, especially given she sounds like from some leaked sound files that she's going to have a broadblade, which means that you know that her plant tentacle arm thingy is going to be holding that weapon and swinging it for her, which is going to be dope as shit. Frolova, I think we can put at the top of A tier. This character we haven't seen a lot of, but she's very cool. She's got like a magic wand, summons TDs, a bunch of really cool things. A lot of these characters right now, Camellia, Frolova, and Scar being like not really out yet. Not even, we don't even know if we're going to get to pull for them in the entirety of version 1, right? They could be just enemies way later into the story. I'm going to put her at A tier. She seems like a cool character. Very unique, dynamic character. Fraxidus outfit, which breaks the mold drastically from the rest of these characters. The eye patch, everything about her is very unique. And then for Scar, we can probably throw him up in S tier. I want to say above Jian, but I don't think he contends with the top 4. Realistically, these top 4 characters are like the characters that everyone thirsts about in the game. And there's no getting around that. There's no beating that. These 4 characters are going to be the 4 most attractive, best designed characters in the game for a while. It's going to take a little bit. We will see what happens though. So Coast Guard is not in this tier list maker. From what I've seen from Coast Guard leaks, that character may very well be S tier, possibly top of S tier, depending on how her kit looks and how she works. Very unique character. All white with some purple and stuff going on, like spacey purple, butterfly growing out of their right eye. Very, very cool looking character. So I'm excited to see how that character ends up looking when she releases. I'm assuming it is a she. It looks like a she. But until then, we will have to see. But these are definitely the 4 top ones. These 3 would probably be like a tier A plus if I had to like separate them, because there's a bit of separation here. You get A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and Zhang Li Yao is teetering on the edge of D tier. Reorganizing it to be proper. That's good. That's good. I think Ling Yang looks the most unique out of all these guys. And that looks good, and that looks good. So this is probably it. This is probably the end of the tier list. Overall, lots of pretty damn good designed characters, although a lot of them are the limited characters, let's be honest here. A lot of the base 4 stars and standard 5-star characters are not as nearly as good looking. But in the future, we might get a 5-star Chixia, we might get a 5-star Alto, we might get a 5-star Taoshi, might get a 5-star Baisha. We don't know, we will see, but those are definitely going to be massive, massive upgrades to these characters. But that's going to be it for this one. If you want to watch me go over this live with chat, follow me at twitch.tv/Cashy Swanson, and I'll see you guys in the next one.